true that car salesmen are not allowed to negotiate on the prices of cars anymore? Because I went to 4 different car dealerships and all of them said they're not allowed to negotiate. And I
have been tagged in this video more times than I can count. And I thought this was pretty simple because I thought my channel was living proof that dealerships negotiate. But the amount of misinformation that I've seen from other channels putting out that are also tagging in this video, I have to make it. So I want to explain the difference of dealerships because there are plenty of dealerships that use this exact line to not negotiate. But before anybody says, Tommy, what makes you qualified to talk on this subject? I probably negotiate more car deals than 99.9% of people. I talk to more dealerships than 99.9% of people. So I'm going to just give you the stats. I'm going to tell you the different types of dealerships and understand when a dealership is probably just flat out lying or if a dealership is telling the truth and they won't negotiate. First, let's get into the truth. Yes, there are some dealerships that are haggle-free, non-negotiation dealerships. Now, I've heard some crazy stats out there. Somebody said 80% of dealerships are haggle-free, no negotiation. That is not true at all. I would say that number is less than 20%. When it comes down to it, the majority of the times this happens is on used cars, not new cars. Think Carvana, CarMax, AutoNation are all non-negotiation on used cars. But even AutoNation will negotiate on new cars, even though they won't negotiate on used cars. There is a difference between new and used and their policies. Now, that being said, this number is less than 20%. I've seen it inflated like crazy out there, but most dealerships will negotiate on new cars. Now that we know that 20% of dealerships are non-haggle dealerships, understand with a non-haggle dealership, you're going to spend a little bit more for that convenience. That could be a few $100s, that could be a few $1,000s, but I've almost never seen that the cheapest price is at a no-haggle dealership. That's just normally not how it works. Now, for the other 80% of dealerships that will haggle, I'll say about 30 to 40% of those dealerships will say they're non-haggle dealerships. They'll say, hey, we don't negotiate. We list our best price online. That's something they learned from Andy Elliott. He taught that actually, funny enough. But when it comes down to it, the general rule of thumb is to see if a dealership will negotiate is use competition. Competition always drives the price down. And if you go to a dealership and just say you have a better price elsewhere, their reaction will tell you everything. If they're a true no haggle dealership, they're going to tell you have a nice life. Go take that other offer. If it's cheaper, it's better. Or they might try to build value in why you should buy a car from them, even though they can't reduce the price. A haggle dealership, almost 99.8% of the time will say, hey, let me see if I can get that sheet. If I can get that sheet and show it to my manager, I can beat it. And if they're willing to do that, that means they're willing to haggle, which means they're willing to lower the price. So understand that higher demand cars, Honda, Toyota, Lexus, they might say this line, but that doesn't mean they mean it. Yes, you can negotiate with dealership. And yeah, there's going to be some dealerships that are going to look at you and think that you don't know what you're talking about and say, oh, we don't negotiate anymore. That is something that happens. So you have to be wary and you have to understand that. But that being said, 20% of dealerships do not negotiate. This lady said she talked to 4. So the chances are some of those were lying.